Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show number 77. I got started on this one and I had to back off a little bit. And what I was planning on doing is the other day I got on the Android App Store and was looking to see what new scanner radio applications were available for the Android devices. And kind of find out there are a lot. And what I was going to do, and I already produced one video and then I realized something. What I was going to do is I was going to select a few and then briefly go over those and not go into a lot of detail. But I started that, I selected one, and I noticed I was already up to 10 minutes just doing a brief review of one. Now, of course, that 10 minutes included this intro, so probably I was up to maybe 7 or 8 minutes of actually discussing one of the ones that I wanted to review, and I had selected 8 total. So it was obvious that was going to run into a really long show, and I kind of lose the audience after a while. So what I've decided to do is I'm starting over, and I'm going to do one at a time and then spread it over several shows. And I may not even have those shows be consecutive shows. So anyway, I'm going to start today, and like I say, this one is going to be a little longer because I'm doing the intro. But here I am. This is on my tablet, and my tablet is what I usually use for listening to scanner radios, besides just using my scanner. Now, the beauty of you listening to scanner radios via your tablet or your phone, these applications let you listen to scanner radios throughout the United States, and some of them include Canada and Australia. Some include amateur radio, not just police and EMS. So that's the beauty of it, as opposed to just using my actual radio and listening to the scanner of the local services. So what I did the other day is I went to the now, other thing is, I've somehow developed another problem with my recording. And as you can see, there's flicker on the screen. I didn't have that before. I tried to get rid of it. I can't get rid of it. So please bear with me. I apologize for the flicker. I know it's there. Hopefully it's not too bad. So anyway, we're going to go to the Android store. We're going to select apps. We're going to select search. We're going to select, which I've already typed in, scanner radio. And as you can see, there's a lot of apps that are somehow related to scanner radio. Now, as always, when you do a search, you get some things that you weren't expecting to get. And I'll have to point this out because you may not be able to read this. But for instance, in this one right down here is Pandora Internet Radio. So that really doesn't have to do with anything with scanner radio. It does have to do with Internet radio. So anyway, that's the numbers are a little misleading, but I would guess there are today about 20 or so scanner radio applications. Now, the thing is, almost all, if not all, of these applications are based on the website, which I showed you some videos ago, quite a few videos ago, called Radio Reference. And on that website, you can do the same thing with, on that website, you do the same thing that these applications are doing. And what most of these applications do is they're just a user interface to that website. They're actually using that website to get the feeds of the radios from that website. And the radio reference website, you can go on there, and one section is to listen to scanner radios live via the internet, and that is the same radios that you'll hear using these applications. So they all have that basis. That's how they work. They do provide some other features that you don't get on that website. For instance, some of them will allow you to record what it's captured, so you can play it back later. So I have selected a number, and like you can see, there's a whole bunch of these. Now, another thing that's a little misleading is, like for instance, you'll see this icon right here, right here, right here on this one page, so it's listed 3 times. Well, those are different versions, or they're add-ons to the basic program. So here we have the basic program, in this case called Scanner Radio, and then over here, which is a free version, which I've downloaded, installed, and over here we have the paid version, which they call Scanner Radio Pro. And quite often, most of these people, like here's another one down here, Scanner Radio Pro, a Police Scanner Radio Pro, and so that implies that there's a free version, which there is, which I have downloaded. So I've downloaded all the free version. Now, what you lose on the free versions is a couple of things. It could be that the free version has ads running. So you got little ads running down at the bottom. In most cases I've seen, most of those ads are not annoying. So that's not a problem. There is one case that I saw where it's very annoying. Now, I think it's one of the ones I selected, and I'll show you that. Another way that they get their revenue, because they're not charging you anything, is they will limit the free version's capabilities. And the first one I'm going to review will show you what I mean. It's a good example of that. So anyway, like I said, what I'm going to do is I've selected 8 of these out of these 10 or 20, 30 of them, and I'm going to review those over the next few shows, not necessarily in sequence, because I might throw some other things in there between in case you get bored with this idea, and plus in case you're not interested in scanner radios or you don't have an Android device. Now, I also have a Apple iTouch, which I have a couple of applications on. As a matter of fact, the one application, scanner radio application I have on the Apple, has one feature that kind of kills all these, in that it acts more like a scanner radio. You can program in 4 services, throughout different states or whatever, and it will even scan those 4, where all these, and I don't know of one, and if you know of one, please let me know. All these for the Android will only let you pick one at a time, and that's all it will listen to. So it doesn't really scan. Okay, so much for that. So let's go back. And get out of here. Get out of there. Okay, now I have over here, I've set a page up that just has my scanner radio programs. And as you can see, I have selected 8 of them to review. And I'm going to start with this one down the bottom here. And it's called Scanner 911. This is the free version, so I'll show you some of the limitations. The paid version, which removes those limitations, is $1.99. Not a bad deal. And it does have some unique features that, my first glance at this, I like it. I really like those features. Okay. Now, the first screen presents you with 4 icons, 4 options. And that is to go through the scanner database and pick a scanner you want to listen to. Now again, this application is going to radio reference and getting that information and presenting it to you in a little nicer format, maybe a friendlier format, maybe, than if you went on the website. The next option is the Hot 100, and one of the things that the radio reference webpage does is it has this same concept where it goes and looks at the number of users of a particular station and then ranks that station by the number of users / listeners. And the more listeners, the higher it goes up on the ranks. So that's what it's doing here. This other icon here is the recent scanners that you've listened to. So it kind of gives you a list so you can go back to the ones you recently listened to. Also, which most of them have, is favorites. So when you're listening to a scanner, you can hit the favorites and it goes into your favorites list. So let's just go into scanners. And here's a listing by state of the scanners. Kind of like what you see on the web page, but it's in a much nicer format. I think it's much nicer. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to pick Florida. Now, what I see here, and of course, obviously you can't see it on your screen because this is not that clear, but what I see here is I see Florida and it says 7 scanners. Well, I know there's more than 7 scanners on the radio reference website. And then it's got in parentheses 95 more if you buy the Pro version. So here's one limitation right off the bat. By limitation of the free version, which is fine. You know, they're giving you a chance to see how their software works. And if you like it, then you pay the $1.99 and you get more radios to listen to in the various states. So anyway, I'm going to pick Florida. Okay, then it gives you a listing of the ones that it's going to let you listen to. And the one I was looking for, and the one I listen to most often, is Pinellas County Fire and EMS. Well, it just so happens the free version ain't got it. It does have Pinellas County Sheriff North, the north part of Pinellas County. Doesn't have the south. And that, I know that particular radio is not near as active as the Fire and EMS. So I don't usually listen to this. But I'm going to, and then over here, I think what they're trying to tell you, this little bar graph, is the number of listeners. I think that's what it's trying to tell you. It's not very definitive. I would have rather have seen the actual number here instead of this bar graph. So for instance, Pinellas County North has 4 out of 5 dots. It means it's pretty active. You know, there's a lot of listeners. Actually, it turns out there's like 15 or 20. That's not a lot. If you go to Chicago, it's like hundreds. So the granularity here is not that useful. And then if you go to the railroad up in Newberry, it's only got like 1 dot, which means it's probably got 1 listener. So yeah, its scale is not that great. But then they break it down by showing you in Florida, it's showing you a list of all, or you can select just police, just fire, just EMS. Now, note, and I don't know if it's in the Pro version, but note there's no things beyond police, fire, and EMS. So there's no amateur radio repeaters or anything like that. And there are, on the radio reference, there are scanners that are listening to amateur radio repeaters and other things besides just these public services. Now, probably, I'm guessing, in the Pro version, you may get those other ones. Like, for instance, there's a local repeater here in Tampa that's quite active, which I use my other programs to listen to those sometimes when it's like the night that they're having their nets or something like that. I'll use that. Or really, since it's local, I just use my hand scanner. Now, the other thing is I'll listen to amateur radio nets that are far away from me, say like Illinois or something, that I can't get on my handheld radio. So that's nice. So anyway, so let's pick Pinellas County Sheriff North. Okay, now you can see a couple other things they provide, which I think I've seen this in other programs, and of course, like I say, you can't read it. But this is nice in that on other programs, you had to switch to another page to get this. This is the 10 codes, the police 10 codes, so that if you're not familiar and you haven't memorized them, this is a quick reference to the 10 codes. And you can scroll through it. So if you get a 1058 or something like that, you can go down and find it. So that's kind of a nice feature to have that on the screen. At the same time, it's providing you other information about the scanner. Now, up at the top here, and you can see I've selected this, but you don't hear anything, so it's pretty quiet. That's why I don't use that one very much. Up at the top here is where it is buffering and recording what's going on up here. It's way back here. It just started, so it's recording here. And then, again, you can't see it on the video, but this little icon in the corner is an instant replay icon. And it will go back. Okay, something finally came through. It will go back 10 minutes right now. Well, it's 10. I don't know if it's 10 seconds or 10 minutes. And probably you can set that up in the parameters of how far you want it to go back. And so if something came through and you were busy yakking like I am and you missed it and you think, oh, that was important, you can use that to go back. And that's really nice feature. That feature there, if everything else works, I'm going to buy this program. Because there are probably some other newer programs that might have this, but the two that I've been using don't have this, and it's really nice. Okay, down on the bottom is your volume control, and it's maxed out now. And there's an icon here to center the two speakers, the stereo speakers. Just move it to right to left, left to right. And then there's a stop button and a pause button down here. The other thing it has is it will show the alpha tags if they're available. Now, this particular scanner does not provide the alpha tags, so you don't get them. And the alpha tags are for trunking systems are the decode of what service within that service this is. Like it could be fire north, fire south, fire east, fire west. So that could be in the alpha tags. And I think I can go back real quick here. Let me go back. And go back. Go back. And now I'm going to select top 100. And it lists the top 100. I'm surprised that I don't see Chicago on here because normally Chicago is in the top 100. They have hundreds and hundreds of people listening to Chicago police. And I don't see it listed here. That's probably because, again, it's a limitation of the free version. But and it also gives you some icons here of what's on that particular receiver, like this top one, which is Reno, it's listening to both fire, police, and EMS. So it's listening to all of them. Down here, there's one, it's just police. So that's a nice little indicator. And then here's also your bar graph of the number of users. Again, I don't think that's very useful. Okay, now what you're hearing is it's still monitoring. Let's see if I can stop it. Okay, I put it in pause mode. So it was still monitoring the Pinellas because I hadn't selected a new scanner. And if you exit and don't stop or pause, if you exit this program, it's still running in background and will play that radio when there's sound coming on. It will play it in background so you can do other things. That's a nice feature. I've seen that in a lot of applications. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Reno. And what I noticed before, yeah. So, again, you can't see it, but up here at the top, let me stop it. I can see why it's in the top 100. It's very busy. Up in the top here, it shows a couple of things. It shows you the scanner radio you're listening to, in this case Reno Police, Fire, and EMS. And then if that particular radio is sending to radio reference the alpha tag information, it will display that alpha tag information, which is really neat when you're first listening to a service. So, for instance, here it just popped in EMS to hospital. So that means the particular channel, I don't know if it's channel is the right term, within this service is being shown here, in this case, EMS to hospital. Or it could, another alpha tag might be police north, whatever. So that's a really nice feature. So that's kind of this program in general. As you can see, I've already run up to about 20 minutes here, so this video is going to take a long time to upload. This is Scanner 911. This is the free version. I show you the limitations. The Pro version, which takes the limitations off, is $199. So that's the show for today. That's the first review I'm going to do. I have 8 of these that I'm going to do. Each of them have goods and bad points. This one seems to be a winner. I'm going to buy this one because I like some of the features that it has. The alpha tags, the instant replay idea. So this is going to be a winner. I'm going to buy the Pro version, run through it, and if I see anything that I didn't get that I was hoping to get, I'll let you know. For instance, I'm hoping it will give me some of the other scanners that's on radio reference that are not related to police, fire, and EMS. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please let me know. If you've used this application and you like it or dislike it, please leave a comment. If you enjoy this concept of this series I'm going to do, give me a thumbs up. That'll tell me I'm going down the right track. That's it for today. Bye-bye.